able to join live. Thanks everyone for jumping on our April monthly safety drumbeat for Matthews International. The topic for the call today is anti-fatigue matting, and this actually came as a topic request from one of the Matthews safety folks. So appreciate you sending over a recommendation for a call. Please, as you guys have topics that you want to hear about, please shoot them over. I want to make sure that the content of these calls is relevant across Matthews, and we're bringing you things that are helpful that you're looking for. So one of our great anti-fatigue matting providers is Ergo Advantage. So invited on John Herman from Ergo Advantage to just present about the solution. I think, obviously lots of different types of environments across Matthews, but something that's pretty consistent is a need for anti-fatigue matting. If you've got anyone standing for an extended period of time working on a production floor, definitely things that our sellers see out there when they're calling on your facilities. So great topic. And I know a couple of you actually have Ergo Advantage matting. Is anyone out there that has Ergo Advantage matting on the call today?
We've got
We
some
do
in
in
our
Pittsburgh.
sandblast.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So sounds like a couple of sellers have already engaged with Ergo Advantage. So awesome to hear that. But really just wanted to present kind of the features and benefits of the Ergo Advantage solution. And then, certainly Ergo Advantage has national reps, so they can come out with our sellers and do assessments and walks and kind of create an easy button for you guys. So you're not, measuring and determining, what do I need to buy and, all that fun stuff. We can take that off your hands. So John, I am going to hand it over to you to go ahead and present. And guys, this is really the only topic for today. Should be a short call. So please feel free to jump in the chat or interrupt if you've got questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda, and I appreciate the invitation as well to present to the team. I'm John Herman with Ergo Advantage, and basically, it's my understanding that Matthews is a very diverse company. And so some of the safety folks that are on the meeting here or will be attending it via recording, some of you could be in foundries, some of you could be in the wood coffin type manufacturing, even metal or welding type environments. And even I understand it gets into the stone and granite type processing in some of these. So what you're going to find with our product is with the fact that Grainger stocks all of this, it's an excellent product line. For those of you that have had it, there may be a few new things you learn here, but otherwise, this could be a one-stop solution for whatever applications you might have regarding ergonomically correct matting for anti-fatigue and also anti-slip. So with that being said, basically, those of you that know us, this may be repeat, as I said, but we've been around for almost 30 years. And basically about 10 years, Grainger's been stocking this product, and they're now our leading stocking distributor. But when you look at from a standpoint of support from ourselves, Amanda already mentioned it to some degree, but all of our product is made in North America, which is really huge in these times. But we have excellent support staff, cover the North America continent very well, and even into UK. But some of the things that people may not know about our product is that all of it's recyclable. And I'm sure Matthews, if they haven't already, they probably have in the works what we sometimes call zero landfill initiatives, trying to bring in high sustainability products, environmentally friendly. So keep this in mind for those of you that are Matthews folks, but also the Grainger folks, recommending to your Matthews people. This is a great product to look at bringing on board. We divert well over 2 million pounds a year of scrap plastic, basically PVC from landfills in Canada and the US. And so, and some of these companies on the side have really big recycling initiatives and have chosen to use our products as well. So I appreciate you keeping that in mind. So what are your employees standing on? If you're a Matthews employee, I'm sure you look at all three of these examples and have seen those in your facilities. Many places there's no matting at all, and there should be some sort of anti-fatigue matting or ergonomic matting for flooring to help the employees with issues of joint and back pain. But other areas may be where the mats are failing, where there's separation, no edging, tears, overlaps. Those are type of things that can cause trip hazards as well. And then on the right, you look at a runner that is very soft, deep foam and actually contributes to a lot of joint discomfort. So as you learn about our product, basically our product is not soft and squishy foam. It's ergonomically correct. And we'll get into a little more of that in just a few minutes. We believe better support, equals safer spaces and happier employees. And we all know happier employees creates higher productivity. So here's an example, these three pictures with our SafeFlex line. It's a modular matting that can be mixed with smooth top, ones with holes. It can be solid. We do it in colors. In fact, Grainger stocks a majority of Success colors and can be easily used that way. But we also have introduced the Stand Safe line, which Grainger has SKUs of currently. And these are mats that may not be applicable in a lot of your heavier industrial side of things in Matthews, but in distribution centers, light duty applications, these are a standalone mat that's 28 by 40 inches. But as you see, it can be connected into a runner hundreds of feet long, and it's very easy to take apart. It's one piece matting, and we'll get into that shortly, but that's new to our product line. So those on the safety realm of things understand this slide very well. I mean, 40K is the average cost of lost time work injury. Many times it averages 12 days missed work, and it could be a simple pulled back, or it could be joint discomfort that flares up due to ergonomically incorrect work or flooring. And some of the most common causes, as you see here, it can be loose matting, trip hazards, curled edges, uncovered cables, which are trip hazards. It can even be oily surfaces. And our flooring system helps solve all of those. And so basically, when you look to the back pain issue, it's very, very common to have lost time injuries in the workplace resulting from this. And it can be just simply as it says there, poor posture, uneven surfaces, or even hard surfaces. So all of those things take that into consideration when you're looking at a ergonomic anti-fatigue matting type program or project. So the simple question is, why should you stand with us? There's 5 reasons. The first one's ergonomics. We basically stand behind the engineering in our matting. Those of you that have used it or seen it, they understand that they know the leg structure underneath supports your body weight, but it doesn't bottom out. So the comfort domes that are on top help give you the relief or the compression needed so that you actually have an ergonomically comfortable and correct surface that you're standing on. So the mats are 1 inch high, 1 inch thick, but the interesting thing is the diamond pattern and the comfort domes create your muscles to work slightly, which increases blood flow. And those of you that have traveled a lot, for instance, if you travel many hours in the car, what do you end up doing with your feet? You end up actually moving your feet some to get blood flow going. If you leave them in an isolated spot, that's not only dangerous due to blood clots, but it's uncomfortable. So the same concept is when you stand in one spot with your feet firmly planted, it it really causes some issues. So that's reason number one to look at our product line. Reason number two is safety. Um, our products, the stand safe matting has the same leg structure underneath, but in wet environments and areas that are real slippery on a floor, in light duty, like tile floors, the stand safe has the flow patterns on the legs. But our SafeFlex line, up to 3/4 inch hoses or cords can be run underneath. And that is a very, very uh, beneficial factor, even for small seasonal things like cords for fans or you name it. It's an excellent way to conceal cords or hoses. And again, they're not protected there. So if you have forklift or heavy duty traffic of vehicles going over it, you would want the regular cable protectors. But if it's pedestrian use, these mats work phenomenal to help cover cords or hoses. The third reason is ROI, and it's a very simple factor. The durability of our mats, the longevity of the life cycle, and the fact that it can be recycled at the end of the life cycle is all important in the ROI. There's many times where matting may need to be replaced. This typical foam matting you see out everywhere, edges can start curling in as quick as several months. Once that happens, you either have to duct tape it or cut it off or some sort of way to prevent that from happening. Where we warranty against the curling and separation of edges for the full lifetime of the product. And as you can see the picture on the left, that's our new stand safe mat, and it's designed for heavy wash down areas where you need to pick up and clean. It may not be as I guess, important in your environment, typically the way I understand it at Matthews, but there may be lab areas or situations where you need that. This is the biggest thing going on right now. It's if someone were to ask me what's the hottest word right now in the marketplace, one of them would be sustainability, and it's becoming a bigger factor all the time. And so again, what we pride ourselves in is that our products are made of recycled PVC is in regard to the SafeFlex and recycled TPU material as regarding the stand safe. And both products can be recycled. So you basically have a zero landfill issue there where you're not having to dump those in landfill at the end of their cycle. But we also mold our products in North America, so there's no issue of long lead times or anything like that. Grainger's inventory is one of the best in the industry, and our inventory also would make lead time for this product virtually nil. And finally, reason five is versatility. Those of you that are into any kind of success or continuous improvement would really identify with this. We can make it in long runners with the stand safe or standalone one mats, or they can do a whole flooring system if need be. And again, instead of marking floors with tape or paint, you can actually have an ergonomically correct floor with the right color codes there. And also we have the new heavy duty insert that goes under our matting, which can allow 15,000-pound forklifts to go over it. And the mat literally does not move. It's like, it's perfect for heavy duty carts and such. And I can get into that more with you if you want at a later date on a separate call. So those five reasons basically are reasons alone to look at our product. They basically solve all type of issues at a plant. And here's some good examples of that. If you look on the left, it's a standalone, actually at a stand-up sit-down desk type of environment. We make long runners out of the stand safe for assembly areas or distribution centers, that type of thing. But then when it comes to the SafeFlex line, the modular matting that some of you may be familiar with, if you look at the middle picture there, it's the one with our holes in it, the A2B. We use that in a lot of blasting areas. So areas that have a lot of shot or glass bead blasting, we'll use that and then run the vacuum or magnet basically over our mats, and all of the material can get brought back up for use again in the blasting. So it can be that, or it could be just simply wet areas. The mat that's covered with blue edging is our top seller, the A1B for ergonomics, and it's basically designed for dry areas, and literally it can be configured in any particular shape. We use blue edging here. Grainger stocks yellow and black edging, as we do too, with a few extra colors. Um, Edging, when it's colored, does complicate matters a little bit. It makes a great picture for presentation, but you can accomplish the same thing with blue tiles put periodically through that mat. And most safety professionals want a yellow border. So just thought I'd throw that in there. But then you go to the final picture on the right. That's our gridded product for oily or slippery areas. It could be grinding dust from stones that are real slimy or slippery. This mat works excellent with, it's the most durable gridded anti-slip mat out there with same leg structure underneath. So a lot of facilities will actually put pig or an absorbent mat underneath those. So when it's time, they can take the tiles up and roll up and can basically have it easy containment. Or even some plants have floor drains under and everything flows that way. And we can do the grit in color as well. So that shows yellow grit there. So if you're into a color code system, just keep that in mind. This is a final slide. I just wanted to, this summarizes kind of like basically what we've just covered. But I wanted to bring up one point. The individual account managers, if you've not worked with our Ergo reps to date recently, you may not have experienced this, but if your Matthews facility needs someone, as Amanda mentioned earlier, for us to come out, we'll be glad to come out, make measurements and calculations. But even a simple sketch drawn and emailed to the reps showing what size or dimension and maybe just show where the edging should be. Because with the modular design, we don't encourage edging up against work cells because you want the employee's feet to stand ergonomically correct. So that means no edging up against the machines, because if you notice a lot of your workstations that have standard matting, the employees are standing like they have high heels on because the edging is all the way around. So we encourage edging only for entry points, and that way they can be tucked up against the machine or work cell. And so if you send that, we will draw up a nice tile configurator layout, just as you see there on the right. And it shows the exact bill of material. It shows what the layout of the mat would look like. And then when we present that to your Grainger person, the Grainger rep has the exact bill of materials with their SKUs on it. And that way they can give you a very, very accurate quote to what you need. So it's something that's relatively new, but it's a great feature that we offer. And everything on the left, all the minor little fine print there can be read at some other time. But the gist of it is the 5 points that I went over. But the key is happier employees make higher productivity. And that's really the best way to sum this up. So with that, I did want to ask questions and see if there was any particular special applications or things that you might have a question about.
Hey, John, can you just talk a little bit more about the warranty? Is there a time frame for that you can share?
Well, yeah, that's a great point. And typically what we do is this: the standard industrial workplace, there are always more extreme location and more extreme applications than others. But for the general most part, on SafeFlex, when what that happens is we warranty the lifetime of the product against separation, curling of edges, basically delamination in the molded parts. And what you can expect for Saflex in the non-gridded product, that would be the A1B, the one with holes, the colored ones that we showed, you're looking at about a 10-year lifespan. So thus the ROI on it is really huge. You're not replacing mats every 6 months or every year or so even. And you don't have to worry about the typical issues that matting has. Now, on the gridded product, the ones for oily, slippery areas, we do warranty the grit for up to 2 years. And that particular product, that's unheard of for gridded matting for anti-slip. But we do warranty that. And the same thing applies as far as delamination or separation or curling. So that's basically the way we present the warranty. And I don't know if did that answer your question, Amanda?
Yeah, it did. Thanks, John.
So any other thoughts or questions? Any success stories or any feedback from those of you that have our matting out there in Matthews? Well,
Hey, John.
oh yeah,
Hey, John.
hey,
This is Dave. I'm the account manager for the Matthews in Pittsburgh.
okay,
We
hey,
actually we did a project on a drill press line with your matting. I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, in a
oh yeah.
situation where they were replacing the mats. I want to say almost quarterly. That matting is still in place. It's still not curled. Very little fading, if any, and is still kicking like the first day we put it down.
Well, that's
So
good.
very impressed by the product, and it really has held up against the test.
That's excellent. You probably worked with Pam O'Neill at the time, I'm assuming. Does that
That's
sound right?
exactly who it was.
Yep. And
Yep.
so she's retired now, but that's a great testimony, and I appreciate you mentioning that. And do keep in mind, we have got a lot of customers that drag product or equipment over our mats. And as a result, it wears, scratches, and prematurely wears matting out. So obviously, the warranty and the time frames I mentioned are for pedestrian use only, walking back and forth. Um, some plants will use our mats for bumpers to protect the floor and protect the parts. That's great, and they can easily change our mats out or tiles in case. So that's another example where it's kind of hard to put a set warranty for every application. Any other feedback or questions? One question that I didn't ask is, and I don't think Matthews, unless there is a need that I'm not aware of, ESD, electric static dissipative areas, whether employees are getting shocked from static buildup through to processing or to help with electronic components from a quality standpoint. We do manufacture it in ESD as well, and in fact, Grainger stocks that. So that may not be an issue, but if it is, please keep that in mind.
Hey, this is Larry Newport. I'm the Director of Health and Safety. Can you go into that in more detail? Because we do have areas with combustible dust. We also have paint booth areas.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, typically when you have issues that are combustible material where you're trying to reduce static, your employees, do they have to wear safety shoes there?
Absolutely.
Okay. So as you know, in the safety shoe world, you've got EH rated and ESD or SD. So what typically you would want to do is you would encourage people in those areas to wear ESD shoes or footwear, safety shoes. And the reason that is you do not want their static to be built up in their body that's generated from processing rolled materials or whatever. And those of you that in the safety world know, OSHA requires people, maintenance folks, anyone that's dealing with electronic or electrical connections, they need EH rated because they need to be insulated. They don't want to become a human lightning pole. So the operators, though, that are dealing with the combustible material, typically, if they're wearing the right footwear and you have the right ESD matting that is run to ground. So what happens is static runs through the employee's body, through their footwear, into the mat. And because our ESD matting is fully conductive all over, in other words, it's not a skim coat. So we have a lot of operators, I should say operators. We have a lot of companies that will run their ground wire underneath our mat connected to one of the legs. So it's not a trip hazard, which tends to be a problem with the ground connectors that's run on top of a mat. But you basically can do that, and you can do large cells, you can do small areas. We do a combination of that, and literally you can dissipate a lot of static and issues out of the employee's work area, but also give them a very, very ergonomically correct work area to stand on. I don't
That's
know.
perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions or special applications like that? Well, I do thank Amanda for bringing me on board. And one thing I did want to mention, you guys are obviously spread all over the country. I'm not sure if any of you are in Canada or Mexico that are on the call, but there is a link that I sent Amanda that those of you that the Grainger reps that don't know who your Ergo contact is can click on that and basically can solve that. So appreciate your time, and thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it. I will get this recording out to everybody in addition to that link that John spoke about. And thanks again for joining, everyone. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or your local rep. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, John.